You should always be making beers you love. And you should always be trying to make someone happy with that beer. And we've always fed the side of ourselves that plays to Extreme Beer Fest, where we're looking for culinary inspiration and just trying to key on the subset of culinary beer drinkers and engaging them, or our chef side and trying to reinvent process for some better step. And then there's all the other beers that just want to make the side of us that work a day or paint a bathroom or play a sport. You know, we have all these beers to make each of our internal people happy, and we try to play with the group. 2020 was a super weird year because we went for the biggest, easiest to love side of ourselves and keyed in on that group of drinkers, right? Everybody's having a hard year. It wasn't time to be like, well, what if we reinvented carrot sugar and used it to ferment a carrot cake beer? Or what if we put white truffles into a Belgian triple? So when Jason called up to do EBF, all those inspirations that had been pushed aside came through in this one very difficult to make beer for EBF. We love EBF. We've been part of it for a long time, and it's always rewarding to be asked to do it. Sometimes we've learned steps about EBF on the way. Sometimes you need an impression beer that somebody gets in one sip, and doing your drink this 750 over 3 hours approach doesn't work in the room. And we saw this new EBF virtual one of a handful of brewers, everybody gets a whole can to sit with, as an opportunity to develop. And then there's the crush of a year of, yeah, but I think we'll make the neighbors happier with a lager flooding out in this beer. So there are steps to this beer. This beer starts with just, in my conversation with Jason, saying, yeah, the world's been upside down. And then a free form of upside down cake. Ooh, barley wines taste like a pineapple upside down cake. What if we made a pineapple upside down extreme beer? What if we put 30 processes in it? And then of course we made a 30 process beer. So at the fundamentals here was going up into the barrel room. We have a barrel room full of barrels. Every 4 to 6 months, we brew up a super high gravity, all Maris barley wine, and we put it in second, third use by us, neutral barrels to just let it get dignified and oxidized and pretty and mature. Then sometimes we park those in other barrels like cognac or rum or bourbon. Then we come back and we blend it. So the opportunity with a 4 EBF only beer, the world's turned upside down, was to process the heck out of it. So what we did was blend up some really tired old, like 3-year-old barley wine that had been nice and going to the sherry level of oxidization, and then some less old 1 and 2 year barrels that were already showing that kind of brulee, pineapple, cherry, sugar flavors. And then we made a fresh one, and to that fresh one we roasted pineapples over cherry wood. Then we sugared and bruleed those pineapples. Then we pureed them. Then we cooked that down with some fresh pineapple juice and some cherries, made like a syrup, put that into the fresh fermentation new barley wine, fermented that out so it all dried out, all integrated, all was there, but not too showy, not too much pineapple, not too much cherry, because we wanted the sherry notes of the old, and we wanted the toffee notes of the middle old. Basically, because this Extreme Beer Fest has everybody kind of stuck living with a can, not trying to get 40 different ideas in their head, in their face in a 4-hour period, we thought everybody can live with this can and it can truly develop. So one of the things I love best in the idea of fooling around with barley wines is truly treating it as a winemaker would. And one of the most respected arts in all of winemaking is the assemblage of the cuvée in a champagne house. And I see these barley wine games as an opportunity to channel in on that. You got to make a million different things, put them in a million different barrels, get them in a million different places, and then put them together to be what you want this beer to be. So we put it all together knowing that it was everybody's gonna have the time to consider it, not an ounce and a move, not waiting in line, but sitting in your house trying to get the most of it. So we wanted it to do 90 things for you. So the whole conception is these layers. So when you first smell this, you're gonna get those tired old sherry, bottle shock, stored up canned notes. Then you sit with it a while and you sip, the pineapple's gonna run right in front. Then you've got the sugars from the Brulee fresh batch. Then you've got the sugars from the 1 and 2 year old. And then you're landing on the very tired old sugar again that started everything. And we thought an important part of this year's unique and weird EBF from home experience would be to give people a whole bunch of flavors in a little can. So the part of the house we fool around with blending, assemblage, dirty beer, clean beer, barrel-aged beer, steel-aged wild ferment beers, we call that part of the house OWC. And because of so many people in so many places, a can made sense. So this is the first time we've put an OWC bottle label onto a can. And being so unique and being so special and being so specific to this EBF remote dial-in experience, we had one of our brewers, Max, who's an artist, do some flourish. So his art's on the label, which delights me. So this is a one-off. Now that we've done it, I may keep doing it because it really makes me happy. But typically this is kind of our wine bottle plain paper label. But for the event, we went with Max's art and just give it some feel and some vibe. So it's got its port side, its sherry side, its little bit of yeasty side, its red wine side, its barley wine side, its adjunct 2020 tomfoolery side. And all in, I really think it came together quite nicely to do as much extreme flavors as we could inside a 12-ounce can, while still being one harmonious experience of the world's turned upside down barley wine. We saw it as a way to channel all the things we wanted to do in 2020 but didn't get to because the year was so fraught with worry into one beer. So this beer has, roasting, indirect heat roasting with cherry wood smoke, and then dextrose and bruleeing, and then Vitamixing and reducing, and then mashing in, and then adding in barley wine from much more zen days of 2017, 18, and 19, and picking a peach brandy aged barrel to augment that layer. And knowing that this would be a weird situation, we tried to look to what it gave to extreme creativity. And we just said, all right, gonna be on with them for X amount of time, let's make X amount of flavors. And we just kept packing and layering and stacking and stacking and stacking on a joke that started with me and Jason on the phone that said, yeah, the world's upside down. Maybe I'll make a pineapple upside down cake extreme beer. Oh, hey. We've got barley wines I was just tasting in the library that actually taste a little bit like pineapple upside down cake. I wonder what we can do to take that to a next level. And that's this beer. And I'm delighted by it. I really hope it makes you guys happy. I hope it stimulates. I hope it gives everybody a break from the woe. And I hope it maximizes this new and different experience for you. I just want to say thank you to everybody at home trying this beer with us. I hope it did everything we intended it to do for you. We really hope you enjoy it. Thanks to Beer Advocate, Ahlstrom Brothers, Untapped, that whole new group, Sam Calagione from the top for inspiring this entire fest for all these years. It was a year that didn't give us an outlet for these kinds of ideas. And it was nice to have one project to flood them all into. I hope in the long run you've experienced a stitched together beer of 1,000 ideas being poured into it. And it's harmonized and it's experienced and it's world weary but fresh. Anyway, I adore it. So I'm gonna save myself these 3 cans and I'm gonna drink them over the next 3 years. Thanks for having us. Thanks for playing along. Thanks to all you that support these kind of games in beer.